On this episode of Belt 95 Sports, Washington football team against Arizona Cardinals. Can Haskins get a Week 2 win against the Cardinals, making another comeback win for the team? On this week's episode of Belt 95 Sports. Welcome back to this week's episode. We're going to do a game recap of the Washington football team against Arizona Cardinals. Actually, let's say still into the game right now. The score is 15-30. You only have maybe a minute or so left in the game. But you can see that, the team didn't carry over from week's one surprise comeback from Philly. And I saw something today again. It seemed like the team can't get started in the first half of these games. And it seemed like Haskins turns it on in the second half. It's great to see that they still had that fight. I think the score was at the second half was actually, I think it was 3-20 Cardinals. And they did make a great comeback in the third and the fourth quarters. But it seemed like Kyler Murray was just... He had a great game today. You can't say nothing else. To me, he's not an accident. From beating San Francisco last week and now taking on a home team, Kyler Murray seems like he's growing. It's this new class of a mobile quarterback like Lamar's, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson. Haskins, he'll get there. Like I say, he seems to turn it on in the second half. You got to figure out how to do it in the first half. Defense didn't have a strong game today. They kind of disappeared on a couple of plays, but Kyler Murray, he just improvised on a lot of those plays as well, so you can't really fault them too much. You seem like Sims actually had a turnover. He's returning the football. He kind of lost control, and Arizona picked it up. I think actually scored on that play as well. But Sims did pick it up. Later on in the game, seemed like he turned on light switch, so he did play an important role in the second half of the game to kind of bring him back. Today they got 2 touchdowns, so that was good for the team. And see, I just say it again, Kyler Murray had a nice day on the ground and in the air as well. I got Fitzgerald involved. I think this may be his last year with the team. He might retire after this, but back on the team, London Collins got an interception for the first turnover of the game, which is great for the home team. The offense had some bright moments here and there in the first half, not too many to be, to write home about. Look at Chase Young today, got 4 tackles. He actually got 1 sack, so he had a pretty good game. He's growing. Like I said, this is his second game in the NFL, so he's growing. Week to week, he'll become better, more stronger as the defense gels together. And Gibson was 8 for 53 today. Haskins was actually 19 for 33, 1 touchdown. So like I said, Haskins, he seems to turn things on in the second half of these games. Hopefully that doesn't become a habit. Especially, going in the next week, we 1-1, which is not too bad for us because we easily could have lost that game to Philly last week. But, and then you think about it, we could have come back on this game too. It seems like they just run out of clock when they turn that light switch on. But I have to say, it was Kyler Murray's day today. He put on a performance. And like I said, you see the progression of the quarterback play in all these teams, especially teams that won today. Lamar did his thing today. The Ravens won today with almost a blowout against the Texans. And the Chiefs, they actually came back on San Diego. San Diego gave them a great game today, so they actually came back. And what about that surprise win from the Cowboys at last second? I think it was 39-40 over Atlanta. So they could have easily been 0-2, but right now we're tied for the division with Dallas at the lead because the Giants actually lost today, which is, they're 0-2. So, and, see if they have more hope. And Philly actually lost again too. So, it might be a two-headed race against us and Dallas Cowboys as usual. a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans here in Washington and the DMV area, so it's half and half. So, but like I said, today was it wasn't our day today. I can't say enough that the team gives poor effort, or they haven't gelled yet in the first half, but they seem to turn on in the second half. But sometimes you run out of clock. It's too late. Too late about that time. So the Cardinals actually got 4 sacks on the day. Had strong pressure. I said Haskins, start making some smart decision. That line got to hold up. That line really they got to give him the time to find some open receivers, and then the receivers still have to get open as well. He's just can't run around with the ball, and he had some good runs there. So hats off to him. He had some good runs. He was safe today for the most part, but like I said, it wasn't the outcome that we wanted today, and it just wasn't. We were excited a little bit when they started to pull it on in the second half and thought maybe they can pull out another win. I think at the time Cardinals only had 27 points at the time, when by the time they was scored their second touchdown, I believe. So, but the boys only put 15 points today. I can't say a valiant effort, because a loss is a loss, But if we can kind of get that same fight, that energy that the team puts in the second half, kind of push that in the first half, at least make it somewhat competitive in the first half and pull it on the second, I think they could really, really win some of these games, especially these next four games coming up for the team. I know they didn't have a preseason, so that may have something to do with it. Haskins didn't get a lot of snaps, so that he needed to gel with the team, if he had those preseason games, but so all the other 32 teams as well. You just have to do what you got to do. I think the team will kind of warm up in maybe weeks 4 and 5. Hopefully they put a valiant effort against those teams as well. But you look at it as a span of playoff this year, so they obviously sneak in. But, give me some of your thoughts, write some comments, hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow this thing about DMV, and, give me some of your opinions. But what I want you guys to do is be safe, wear your mask, and be careful, in your interactions. But this is Beltway 95 Sports. We see you guys next week. Be safe out there.